สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to the Nation Daily with Tulip. This is for December 21st, 2023. Deputy Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai said that former Prime Minister Thaksin is eligible to receive medical treatment outside the prison due to his ailing health and called on his opponents not to politicize it. Ministries of Natural Resources and Environment and Agriculture and Cooperatives jointly declared war on crop burning, vowing to crack down on one of the main sources of PM 2.5 fine dust. The Tripartite Wage Committee adheres to its previous resolution to increase the minimum wage by province within the range of 330 to 370 baht, a hike of 2 to 16 baht per day from January 1st onwards. Nobel Laureate in Medicine Sir Richard J. Roberts spoke to the nation about his advocacy for GMOs, expressing his belief that they could offer solutions to current global crises. And tourists are invited to visit the famous Doi Intanon National Park in Chiang Mai province to admire the blooming flowers of Thai Sakura, all wild Himalayan Cherry, amid the cool mountaintop weather. One of the hottest topics to discuss in Thailand right now, probably not going anywhere further than how is former Prime Minister Thaksin doing? He is still in the hospital. Officially, he is still in the hospital. And it has passed, it's roughly 4 months. It has passed 120 days, which is the day that the doctor have to give assessment to say whether he should get treatment at the hospital further or he can just leave and go back to prison. And there's like new development here and there. The latest one is that the Deputy Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai said that don't politicize his ailing health and plead for the people that if we involve everything in politics, our country cannot move on. Phumtham, who is also the Commerce Ministry, was responding to criticism that Pheu Thai-led government had helped Thaksin avoid being jailed for even a single day. He said the recently announced regulations by Corrections Department were not created specifically for Thaksin, but rather the policy was years old. The policy he was referring to was the letter recently circulating to provincial governors nationwide talk about the procedure to designate a place of detention other than a prison, and saying confined prisoners in a place of residence or medical facility can be considered a term of imprisonment. And yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister and also Justice Minister Somsak Thepsutin already confirmed that Thaksin will be eligible to be detained outside prison under this new regulation. Thaksin returned to Thailand on August 22nd after 15 years on exile to serve his 8-year jail term that he got from the conviction of the abuse of power and also related to corruption that leading up to the coup in year 2006. But on that day, the very first day that he was in Thailand, the 74 years old was sent directly to Bangkok Remand Prison, but hours later, he was transferred to the Police General Hospital. And the prison chief said that because his health was deteriorating into a very worrying condition, on the hospital bed, he actually pleaded for clemency for his jail term, and now it's commuted down to 1 year because they said he has done a lot of good deed for the country. So it has been 120 days, a little more than that, and a lot of people want to know what's going on with this new regulation announced that he might be able to not having to go back to the prison. But it's still too soon to say anything. We have to wait and see. Next story. We will go to the current problem of PM 2.5. While the Bangkok governor said that part of the reason because of the old diesel engine of the car in Bangkok when he talked about PM 2.5 in Bangkok. But the government also addressed that they know the big issues is the crop burning that has been done every year during this time of the year. So the latest development is that 2 ministries said they will work together to be really strict on monitoring who burned the crop and those people that violate the law would get some kind of consequences. So Ministries of Natural Resources and Environment and together with the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives jointly declare war on crop burning. The level of PM 2.5 in Thailand often peak around December to March, with major pollution sources being traffic and industrial emissions, as well as farmers burning of their fields after harvest. Crop burning is a cheap but environmentally unfriendly method of preparing the fields for the next round of cultivation. So although it is illegal, farmers are still burning under the radar of the authorities. Both ministries said that they will employ stricter measures to eradicate crop burning. I don't know how they're going to do it. They said they will register sugarcane and corn growers, the two crops that reportedly generate the most smog from burning, as well as educating farmers about the legal and environmental repercussions of burning. Government has sent out urgent letters to all provincial governors to increase monitoring by local officials and impose strict punishment on violators. So they said that if farmers are found to be violating the law about this crop burning, they will not be eligible for the subsidy the government giving out to the farmers. Let's say such as for rice, it would be like 1,000 baht per rice paddy. It might be vary from different crops to crops, but at least they're trying to come up with some kind of consequences for this crop burning farmers. Next story. We will go to the minimum wage. We reported to you that last time the wage committee submitted to the cabinet, they said that it will be increased around 2 to 16 baht. And the Prime Minister got kind of furious and said that this is too little, and he asked the committee to reconsidering the formula. The latest development is that it will not change. The Tripartite Wage Committee adheres to its previous resolution to increase the minimum wage by province within the range of 330 to 370 baht, a hike of 2 to 16 baht per day, or an average of 2.37% from January 1st onwards. The committee, which comprises representatives of employers, employees, and the government sector, was reconsidering the details of the minimum wage adjustment across all 77 provinces following a remark of the Prime Minister that proposed rates were too low. Labour Ministry Permanent Secretary, who also chaired the meeting, said that there was unanimous agreement to adhere to the previous resolution to adjust the minimum wage by 2 to 16 baht per day. The rate will be submitted to the Cabinet when it meets next week and will take effect from January 1st. Currently, the lowest minimum wage in Thailand is 328 baht, and the highest is 354 baht, varying from province to province. Phuket will be the only province to have the highest rate of 370 baht, while most provinces will see rises in the range of 330 to 350 baht. Now, just not too long ago, I had a chance to sit down with Nobel Prize Laureate. He actually got Nobel Prize for split genes, DNA, and molecular biologist. But when we sat down, he actually talked in depth about GMOs, because it's one of the things that he is advocating, and he thinks GMOs can be the answer to many global crises. Nobel Laureate in Medicine Sir Richard J. Roberts spoke to the nation about his advocacy for GMOs, expressing his belief that they could offer solutions for the current crisis. Roberts was awarded the Nobel for his work in molecular biology. However, he, along with several other Nobel laureates, has advocated for the use of GMOs to address global issues such as food security and poverty. He said that for the developing world, where around 800 million people go to bed hungry every night, food serves as medicine. They don't need drugs. All they need is food. GMOs provide a viable solution. So one of the challenges is that European countries, which are trade partners with many developing economies, might cease trading if any of them adopt GMOs.
So here you have food, climate change, poverty. GMOs can help. And the Europeans need to realize that there is no reason for them to be against it. If they don't want it, well, don't use it, but don't pretend it's dangerous. Don't try and tell the rest of the world who really need these that they're dangerous.
For more detail on that interview specifically, you can check our website all about GMOs, but the full interview, 15 minutes of it, will be published very soon. Next story will take you to the north of Thailand to see some beautiful flowers on the mountain. We are talking about wild Himalayan cherry, or some people will refer to it as Thai Sakura. Tourists are invited to visit the famous Doi Inthanon National Park in Chiang Mai province to admire the blooming flowers of the wild Himalayan cherry amid the cool mountaintop weather. The flowers, or in Thai name is Nang Paya Seo Krong, have been called Thailand Sakura due to their resemblance in shape and color to Japan's national flower. The trees yield flowers from late December to middle of February. About 15% of the pink flowers are now blooming, and a full riot of blossoms are expected from the second week of January. Doi Inthanon is the highest peak in Thailand at nearly 2,600 meters above the sea level, and the weather is a bit cooler up there. And that's a wrap for this edition of the Nation Daily. You can log on to nationthailand.com for more stories about Thailand, and you can check our social media. We have X, Facebook, Twitter. Wait, Twitter and X is the same thing. We have X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. สวัสดีค่ะ